a lot of times we're hard on ourselves, and it's like, why are we hard on ourselves? It's all of that programming that is taking place wherever we were in our life, the moment the shift happens. So it's like almost like body dysmorphia. I hope I'm saying that right. And I used to watch a lot of those plastic surgery shows where the people constantly go in to get work done because we can see that they look amazing, but what they see in their eyes is like it's all distorted. And the same thing with us. And we may not be looking physically saying that something's wrong with our bodies, but our character traits and maybe like our attitudes, or we did something wrong one time, and that's the lens we're seeing things. Hi everyone, Dr. Vernita Glenn White here. I go by Dr. V, the Brilliant Life Strategist, where I help high achieving professional women embrace their brilliance by up-leveling their decision-making process and unblocking all of those things that are that head trash in their head, so they can show up to be their most powerful and empowered selves, so they can continue to serve, lead, and love everyone that they influence and impact. And a leader can be someone who's in a traditional leadership role with the title, or someone who is responsible for leading others in a variety of situations. And I've done this with professional women, mainly in the education space, like from assistant principals to college deans. And I've also done this with other women who are working professionals like nurses, college professors, healthcare administrators, and things like that. And then during the work with them, that's where I realized, like, if you've seen some of my other videos, you're like, you keep changing what you do. And it's all good. This is part of a journey that I'm on. So if it changes, but at the core doesn't change, maybe like the title or the cute little saying that I do, or you hear people say, but it's really about helping high-level professional women, and just some men too, because some men do reach out to me for support and like, hey, can you help me with this? But they don't get bogged down into this in the stuff that we do. So it's all about embracing your brilliance from your learned skills and your born skills, your born talent and gifts, putting those together, trusting yourself in the process, making sound decisions, and being able to stick by those decisions, whether they're right or wrong, but they're right for you in that moment, and not judging yourself. And then exploring all the other areas of your life that makes you really dynamic, personally and professionally. So what I want to talk about today is I'm testing out new content. Like, so on this page, you'll see that there's stuff for like leadership training and development. That's my jam. That's my learned skill. Part of it is a little bit of my born talent. I believe I have the gifts of like leadership and teaching and things like that. I really do believe that, in strategy. So part of that is what I do for people who are in leadership roles that do observations and feedback, especially in the areas that relates to STEM education. So science, technology, engineering, mathematics, understanding the whole thought process behind that, and how to evaluate their teams who do that type of work. So I do leadership things like that. Part of that will also be like self-leadership and what you need to do for yourself, because you do need to know how to lead yourself, or understand who you are at your core, so you can be a more powerful leader. Yes, people can say that everyone is a leader, and in some way that is true, but it's different when you're in charge and being responsible of leading teams, right? So you'll see some of that on my channel. I'll try to keep them in different playlists, so it's not like I'm all confused, because I'm not. And then you'll see me on here talking about things in the personal growth space. I may do some like reaction videos, but my reaction videos be different from the reaction videos that I watch. It could be movies or TV shows that I'm inspired by, but everything about giving a life lesson. So today, this life lesson, or this reaction, is brought to you by the song Believe in Me by Michelle Williams. I thought this song was like new. I was listening on this playlist of this membership group that I'm in, because I believe in being in membership groups being in coaching, being in masterminds, to make sure that you're constantly up-leveling yourself, especially if you are working from home or you're in a virtual environment and you're not going out as much like you used to. And still, even if the pancake is uplifted at the time of this broadcast or this video, some people have still got, like me, like, yeah, it's just like being in my house. But it's still important to be able to interact with people. So I found ways to do that in memberships. I've invested in myself, meaning those are paid memberships and paid coaching, because you can just get a different caliber of people. Not saying that free networks aren't cool, but you know how it is. It'd be all of these, big communities and people aren't participating, but when you pay, people pay attention and participate. So, and the same with coaching. I also do coaching and consulting, or coach-sulting, which I like to blend both of those together. So all of that to say is, in one of those memberships, there's a playlist, and this song was playing, and it's 6 or 7 years old, and I was like, wow, where have I been? So it says, they see greatness, I see failure. And this is Michelle saying that she wrote these things about herself in her personal journal, and then she made a song about it. So they see greatness, I see failure. I want to know what they see in me. They see beauty, I see everything wrong. I want to know what they see in me. So I can relate to this, and let me know if you can relate to this as well. It's like people come to you constantly saying how pretty you are or how beautiful you are, or they may just point out a feature physically, or then someone may comment on your soul or your personality and say, you've heard that you have a beautiful soul, you have a cheerful attitude all the time. They say that about you, and you're like, I don't feel any of that. I don't see any of that. What are you looking at? Help me to see what you see, right? And a lot of times we're hard on ourselves, and it's like, why are we hard on ourselves? It's all of that programming that is taking place wherever we were in our life the moment the shift happened. So it's like almost like body dysmorphia. I hope I'm saying that right. And I used to watch a lot of those plastic surgery shows where the people constantly go in to get work done, because we can see that they look amazing, but what they see in their eyes is like, it's all just distorted. And the same thing with us. And we may not be looking physically saying that something's wrong with our bodies, but our character traits and maybe like our attitudes, or we did something wrong one time, and that's the lens we're seeing things through. So I can relate to that. Like when people used to give, I'm way better than I was. But when people give compliments, it's like, well, why? Or you deflect, oh, this old thing, or, oh, I don't look my best today, things like that. So then it says, believe in me again. I used to believe in me back then. Now you'll hear me say that hook over and over again, because the hook is in the song, but that hit me because a lot of times when I hear people talk about believing yourself and all of this, it comes from a place where, oh yeah, just start here, start believing in yourself. And I think, especially the women and the men that I'm around, high achieving, high functioning, highly educated, they believed in themselves, because you don't get to a certain level in life without believing in yourself, right? Yes, part of it is fake it till you make it, but along the way, you start believing that thing, you start going after degrees, accomplishments, awards, all these other accolades, whatever, insert whatever in your particular field, you start promotions, you start going for those things because there was a belief in yourself, and you were trusting the process. But I'll stick with belief. And then it's like, okay, something happened, and then all of a sudden you stopped, right? So when it says, I used to believe in me back then, that hit, because there's a moment where I was like, whoa, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. But then I have to remember and look at the evidence that I've had over my life. I was like, whoa, you did some awesome things over there. Just like you believed in yourself back then, I need you to transfer and keep that same energy here. Then it says, maybe I'm guilty of losing my focus. Was too busy. I'm going to break this one down. Maybe I was guilty of losing my focus. How many of you have felt that way? You know that there was a point in time in your life where you were focused, laser focused, disciplined, and you got the job done. And then there was something else and you fell off. So you know you fell off. And here's the thing about brilliant people, and I got a whole playlist on I think it was brilliant awareness, building brilliant awareness or something like that. Whole playlist of that, where brilliant people, we can hide out because people think our 50% is amazing, and then two, we know ourselves. Again, it's like, okay, you may think I'm putting forth that effort, but I know that I'm not. And it's like, when you lost focus, I've lost focus in some areas, and like other people don't realize it, but I do. So it's like, am I guilty of that? Maybe that's why I don't feel so great. And it's like we're punishing ourselves. And then it says, was too busy chasing what they wanted me to be, living through their eyes. I don't know about you, but I think I did this video in another group that I'm in, where I was like, I'm shifting some of these goals. I've had some of these goals laid out for like 3 or 4, 5 years. And it's like, why? And it's because I was still trying to be something that someone told me I would be good at, or I should do this, or I look like I'm the right person to be in this particular mold. And you're like, that doesn't sit well with me. I don't like that. And that's probably why you've been unfocused in certain areas. But when we start chasing what other people want for us, there's nothing wrong with chasing. There's nothing wrong with ambition if it comes from us. But if it's other people, or we're saying that, oh, I want to do this to make this person proud. And I had to do that. I had some goals listed because I wanted to make my mom proud. And on February the 16th of 2022, we celebrated, we celebrated the 10th death anniversary. So she's passed away 10 years ago now. And it hit harder, but then I realized that I was still trying to do some things to please my mom. Now, my mom was never one of those people like, you have to do this, you have to do that, like run the family business or pick up what I left off. She was never that person, but I made a story of like, oh, my mom would want me to do this, so let me go ahead and do that. And I freed myself. No. One, she never said to do it. And two, I don't think she will want me to keep it if I'm going to be miserable. So living through someone else's eyes, and even if they don't say it to you, it's like we put ourselves in their heads, in their eyes, like, okay, we make up this story. Okay, I think this is how you want me to see me, so I'm going to act accordingly. And then we get upset, and it's like they never said that to you. So then it says, drained by the spotlight, wasting away how the world's passing me by. And we know Michelle Williams. She was part of Destiny's Child, and she has her own gospel career. But I can see that, and although a lot of us may not be on that big stage, that big spotlight, we have our own spotlight, or the spotlight that our circle of influence places on us. Again, the highly educated, high-level achiever, highly accomplished person, there is a spotlight on you. And then once you start showing up a certain way, people expect for you to always be that way, or they don't expect for you to make a shift or say, I don't feel like this person today. And it can be draining, always living up to expectations, or thinking that you have to be perfect, thinking you have to be in this mold, or the rules that you follow by the protocol, you have to be this way all the time. Now, I do like some rules and protocols, some pomp and circumstances, and some formalities and things like that. But when it starts ruling who you are and you can't function, or you start punishing yourself and like, oh, I can't be this way because I don't want someone else to think of me in that way, and then that's where it becomes a problem. And it's like we get tunnel vision. I'm holding my phone so I can read the lyrics. That's why I'm doing like this. But then we get tunnel vision of we have to be this way, and everything else is still happening. People still carefree. People still living. Example, I was in my doc program, and while I was laser focused to finish in 3 years, I could have opened up just a little bit and still enjoy life, because while I was this way, thinking that this must be a serious doc student to be this way, people were still living life. Life was still doing its thing. So when I finished, I'm looking like, well, what happened? People had moved on, got married, had children. They've been traveling. Now, I was traveling, but it was for like work, like schoolwork, right? It wasn't like living my life kind of thing. So I totally get that, wasting away how the world's passing me by. And then again, it says, believe in me again, like I believed in me back then. Go to the place that I felt that I left long ago, where no one could tell me what's impossible. that was another one that hit me. Like, how many of you, there was something that you've done and it did look impossible, but you didn't think that, you went forward anyway. It could have been a job, it could have been a career, it could have been dating a certain person, right? Like, we don't have to make this whole big thing. It could have been something like that, and you did it anyway. Swimming, jumping off a dive board, whatever the case may be, there was a part of you that was fearless. And we're actually all born fearless as children, as babies. A lot of things that we go through now are learned and conditioned behavior. But I believe a lot of us, we don't get tainted too bad. You know, we still hold on to that unless something traumatic happens. But I'm pretty sure you can figure out, if you just sit and take a moment and say, wow, that I did that and I wasn't afraid. And even if you were afraid, you did it anyway, or someone said that's not a good idea, and you did it anyway. So go back to the place that I left long ago, where no one could tell me what's impossible. We do all of this up to a certain point. We get to a certain level of status, and then we start acting like things are impossible. And it's like, really? You've been doing the impossible along the way, but because no one or you didn't believe what people told you, or you didn't accept that you were unavailable for being impossible, you did it anyway. If you did it before, you can do it again. And then it says, because I believe in me again. Yes, I believe in me again. Gotta believe. And she says that a lot. You have to. I've said, like, belief is one of those words, it feels like it's flighty and woo-woo and simple, but belief at the core of who you are is really a powerful thing. Again, I think if we look at the evidence over our lives and say how many times we've done something because we just simply believed, and getting the feeling to your heart to match your head, and you feel it down in your body at your core, that's the belief. Not the belief like, yes, I believe in me, I believe in you, but it's that feeling of belief that gets into your soul. Like, I've been studying or really paying attention to, like, my heart cells, my heart brain, and how that, you know, sometimes it conflicts with my head brain because I'm super logical, but being attached to the feelings and really understanding the programming at the subconscious level, and understanding what true belief, and then of course faith and trust in God, of course, but we can have, and I didn't know this until I started really doing some work, we can have belief and faith in God, or you can say your higher power, the universe if you want to, but I say God. We can do that in Jesus. We can do that, but we won't believe in ourselves. We'll pray and ask God for miracles and pray down heaven for other people. But it's like, we don't have that same energy a lot of times when it comes to ourselves. And if we look at what we've done for other people, the prayers that we pray for other people, or how we approach God, and then God was like, okay, I'm gonna do my part, but can you get behind what you're asking me? Then we can really move. I did a TikTok, when I move, you move, just like that. And I was like, sometimes we were waiting on God to move, and he was like, I already gave you a desire. I already told you what to do. So when you move, I'll move just like that, you know? So believing is a powerful thing. And then again, it says, get back to the place that I left long ago, where no one could tell me what's impossible, because I believe in me again. Now I'm back to the place I left long ago, where no one could tell me what's impossible, because I believe in me again. Yes, I believe in me again. Now I believe in me again. It's like, you got to keep telling yourself that, like, don't beat yourself up. Okay, you got to this point, you got to regroup. Some things happened, they didn't go the way you expected. I read a devotional today on a live, and it was talking about not being wishy-washy. Joel Osteen was talking about that, and it's like, okay, you believe in yourself when things are going right, when you can track the progress of your goal, when you can track the progress of whatever you're trying to accomplish. But what happens when it's like nothing's moving? You're doing a YouTube channel and the views are like this right here. You're putting out proposals or pitching to companies and it's crickets. You know, you're trying to you want to write a book and you're trying to get published by a big company. You got your proposal and you send it out, crickets. You're trying to build a relationship with someone, or mend or fix or up-level a relationship with one, and you're telling them everything that you need, and they're like looking at you like, well, what's the problem, right? And or you're trying to release some weight. You want to get to a certain size and you're trying to do everything that you can do, but it's like you plateaued, nothing. Where's the belief then? So in that devotional was like, now this is where you really got to be committed. This is where you're really focused. This is where you're really disciplined. And this is where you're still believing for that outcome when it looks like, that's that type of belief. And that's the challenging belief. That's that heart belief. That's that we got to figure out what's on that subconscious to bring that forward so we can power through that. So I wanted to stop by and share that with you. I listened to this song on replay over and over, and it just hit me. And it was like, wow. The part of getting back to the place where I used to go, or to believe in me again, it's like I was there. I had that. And if I had it before, I can have it again. I must have it again, because powerful things happen when you get behind the belief in yourself. So I hope that encouraged you. I hope that encouraged you to do a few things. One, if you've gotten some things that you're living through, somebody's eyes, thoughts of you, image, and it doesn't align with you and it's draining you, let it go. Two, write down the evidence that you've had for yourself, like things that you've accomplished, things that you achieved, went after, got it. It can be an adventure, something to where it could have looked like it was impossible to anybody else. And give yourself credit. If it was going and you graduated college, even though millions of people graduate college, but for you, your circumstance, if that looked impossible for you, do that. If it was saving $500, $5,000, if that looked impossible for you, that's still evidence, especially if you did it. And then 3, remember and be back committed to yourself and trusting yourself, knowing that you did this before. Be committed no matter what. And remember and have belief in, don't be so attached to the outcome, but know that the outcome is still available if you keep showing up and doing your part, even when there's nothing. Because consistency, focus, and discipline, they all compound. And results have to happen. They have to happen, right? So again, I hope that encouraged you. Let me know down below if you have any thoughts about this, if you stop believing in yourself somewhere, if you have the evidence and you want to share some evidence so you can hype yourself up. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening and learning with me. And I like to say with me because we are on a journey together, and anytime I can share information or share a little nugget, I am so happy to do so. So leave those down below. I'm coming out with a few things, programs and things like that. But if you still want to be connected with me, my book is down below, Embracing Grit for Greatness. And you can find that at embracinggritforgreatnessbook.com, or it's also available on Amazon. I would love for you to get the book. That's one way to connect with me, and some strategies and tips I lay out in there. All right. So again, thank you so much. Remember to be well, be empowered, be bold, and be brilliant. Until next time. Bye.